I began talking to Peter, the insider, about current events or the use of ancient motherships that were discovered in Syria. And before I knew it, we were observing ancient Sumerians, the ancient Anunnaki, in a society that has intrigued ancient aliens researchers for a very long time. Ever since Zecharia Sitchin shared his lengthy and highly intriguing collection of interpretations of the ancient Sumerians' writings, the community has been spinning regarding these topics and his books, interpreting, etc. For example, is this the group who forged the history of humanity and from experimentation? Who are they? Why do some of them look like birds or humanoids? And why are they giant size? And what about their wars, mining, slavery, and the imprint of behaviors that are still remnant in our present day history? These are our forefathers, or are they from our present century, introducing present day ideas into the past? Don't rule any of this out. Consider the present-day Bible. The Hebrews kept close watch over accuracy and wanted to eliminate any alterations to their history. By the time the New Testament came out, there was a lot more political unrest. And the introduction, or the next page after the Old Testament, becoming the New Testament, with 4 letters that were sent from 4 apostles, paving the very way of new insights. The books of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Then churches sent their messages, like the Galatians, the Ephesians, etc. And then the questionable authors were set aside for the Apocrypha. So then the early church leaders, after the apostles, interpreted new ideas and definitions leading up to the Nicean Fathers, as in Constantine. And then the conflict between the Church and Orthodoxy, or the Roman Catholic Church, so there's a division between the East and West. Then the Protestants, of course, separated from the Catholics, and then they underwent turmoil, and then there was death for believing anything different from what the primary church believed in. And so many people suffered. There was bloodshed. There was a lot of horrible things that happened, but it also led to the New World, an escape from death. The Pilgrims, the Quakers, and so many others, the Huguenots. So how is this connected? Why compare the Bible to the Anunnaki? Because humanity is still rewriting, channeling new stories, adding new ideas, changing information and meanings to the content of what Zecharia Sitchin brought in by creating different paradigms, inserting themselves as teachers, guides, new thoughts. Fortunately, this time, no one had to suffer bloodshed. But why do you suppose both the biblical and ancient Sumerian text stirs so much emotion and opinions? For some of you, I may be sounding sacrilegious. Like, how dare I bring up biblical texts and compare them to the Anunnaki? Well, I just saw a parallel. But another reason that I think that people should think about or understand is there are similar reactions to the writings. And it stirs the core of how people are and what they believe. It triggers them. They both existed, and it is true. They're both historical documents. Both the historical accounts intersect in some way, and you will see that in some of the things that Peter says. Humanity wants to etch their name into ancient history, to say not only they remember this history, but they were there. Maybe it is time to talk about how long ago this has been. Peter the Insider has access to the history through a database that recorded the past of humanity through the ACIO. What you hear, you may find to be very interesting.
Welcome to Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Arael Morocco. The ACIO has a long history of helping humanity from the deep recesses of time. This is the first time the ACIO has become available to the public, aside from an earlier visitation by their 15th Division, the Wingmakers. Peter the Insider, originally from Slovakia, is the director of their 12th Division, and Jessica Arael Morocco is in Cicada 3301, their 6th Division. Together, they provide intel, insights on current events, a deeper perspective on aliens and UFOs, super soldier missions with Unit 374 in the merge, and news relevant for disclosure. Don't forget to subscribe to keep updated with our latest intel and post any questions and comments below.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Disclosures. And we will be talking about some current events, some seemingly natural occurrences regarding earthquakes and volcanoes, and some other supposed natural events, but we're going to get Peter the Insider to have a discussion regarding his intel and what else he wants to add to that topic. So without further delay, we're bringing in Peter the Insider. Hello, Peter.
So I want to say hello to you, Jessica, and to all of our regular and maybe not so regular listeners. Technically, why in the world we are here again? That's the question. It's easy. Because the earthquakes, they occurred this year, but there were many, okay? Plenty of them. But the major ones, first of them we will be talking about today, or let's say in this show. It's what happened, or which happened in Syria and Turkey, or maybe Syrian and Turkish border. It was, if I'm not mistaken, February 6th, this year, aka 2023. Am I right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, February 6th.
Yeah.
Did you want me to share the screen, Peter?
Why in the world not? Let's do it.
Okay.
So the stuff is, they all the time, my bad, the corporations, worldwide corporations, all the time they are testing new technologies on one hand, and on the other hand, this looks devastating. I mean, which kind of commentary deserves those pictures, those photos? No, none commentary. It's absolutely crazy. And they were making some tests, some experiments on one hand, and on the another hand, or other hand, if you want to call it that way, there were motherships deep underground, buried, if we want to call it that way, deep underground, and they started their fusion reaction based main engines, right? And the question is, Alex, many people will say it's nonsense. We can see it is like plates, and do you know what I mean? Energy, and so on and so on. And that's the stuff. They will be not able to start their engines, their fusion reactor based engines, without those energy. This energy, my bad, but this is it. Those energies, why I'm calling it those energies, because it is like, how can I say it? It is energetically dependent, if we want to call it that way. What does it mean, energetically dependent? They were, or they are, but technically they were, because it happened it occurred on in the very start of February.
Yeah.
They were waiting for right moment, and they made everything prepared, perfectly prepared, and then like that they simply start the engines, and they were successful. They are simply far, far, far away, so they are not on Earth. And of course, in our initial context of existence, I am calling it our initial context of existence, because at this time, when we are making this video, I and Unit 37, I mean myself, sorry for that, and Unit 374, Mirch, and certain another Specs Ops and Blacks Ops units, we are not in our context of existence. I mean, my bad, our initial context of existence. So that's kind of complicated to make some sort of, how we can call it, solid clarification. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the problem. I mean, problem. If we can see, just by the way, thank you very much for this map. It's very good. Because sometimes they try, because it is pretty much every single time is try and learn method. Every single time, what I'm talking about, once they are trying to get away as fast as possible, or maybe as far away as possible, you know what I mean? They simply hit, as I'm calling it, a red button way too fast, and they caused plenty. That means multiple earthquakes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And on another time, it makes perfect phase. That means everything is perfectly, how can I say it? It fits time-wise. It fits perfectly, and it's fine. In this way, pardon me, in this particular case, why there were plenty of, let's say, weaker, more earthquakes, because there were, give me a second, I need to count them, 3 big motherships, if we want to call them that way, and then plenty of smaller ships, right? And that's the reason why it was like, can we go please to Wikipedia page, because there were many of them, not only one. The main one was 7.8 or something like that, but there were plenty of smaller, or let's say, do you know what I mean, weaker earthquakes. And though this is the, how can I say it properly, this is the clarification for those weaker earthquakes. That's it, right?
This looks like these are all the areas right here in the Hatay province.
Yeah.
Aleppo. Is it Aleppo?
Aleppo is in Syria. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. There's Turkey, Yemen, and this is Marrocco, and this is the Air Force Base that's where they got some help.
I'm just saying it is absolutely crazy, because look, try to think what will happen if they will be not successful. I mean, we are talking about nuclear fusion. What the heck? You know what I mean? if
Well,
some
look
of
at
those sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
it's saying it's the deadliest worldwide since the 2010 Haiti earthquake. So it's,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's how
that's
bad it was. So Peter, let's step back a moment.
okay.
Whose motherships were they originally? Who did they originally belong to?
Okay. Ask me easier question because they were from another context of existence.
How did they get here?
Okay, that's another question. What we know for like solidly for good, what we know that they were very, very old. Approximately, they were here for approximately in between 4,000 or maybe 4,500 years here, and they, aka the private military corporations, in particular Monarch, they want to test some sort of their latest version of fusion reactor or reactors, type of reactors. And it was mutual benefit because whoever they belongs to, it was definitely not the original one. I mean, original race, if we want to call it that way, or them that way. I mean, original race of ETs, right? Because they should get, I mean, it's some sort of funny, but some sort of instruction manual how to do so. I mean, how to fly. What is absolute nonsense, because if those motherships and then smaller spaceships will belong to them, they will never ever need to have some sort of, let's say, manual or something like that. So that's the reason why we know that that those motherships and starships or whatsoever, that they were taken over by another race, right? That's for sure.
Right.
And it was pretty much, how we can call it properly, win-win situation. That, oh yeah, that's great stuff. We can take over something what was given us from the sky. You know what I mean. And that was very good stuff for them. And second win situation, if we want to call it that way, it was for Monarch, because they were able to test their newest generation of fusion reactors. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So by access, do you think that technology in that mothership was like Atlantean, because it is surrounded by water there? Or was it like one of the early Atlantean ships?
I don't want to say, sorry, first things first. From my point of view, I don't want to say I'm sure, but I will be not, let's say I will be not surprised. It will be, or it was built, constructed, because built, that doesn't automatically mean built, I mean like making in physical form. Built, it means like it can be designed and so on, then constructed, that means that is like make something in physical form, and tested, maybe use it. I don't want to say you are 100% right with Atlanteans, but let's say I will be not surprised. Let's say it that way.
Or could it be Annunaki that
Give me a second. That is not definitely that old for Anunnaki. Please, no. Anunnakis doesn't exist for approximately 6 million years. Okay, please, not Anunnakis. Either Elohims, so good ones, good Anunnaki, or Nephilims, aka bad ones. Please,
Right.
we need to make clarification in terms of. Um, I mean, sorry, this need to be edited.
Of the timeline. No, I understand.
We need to make clarification in terms. Do you know what I mean? This is the
Yeah,
correct.
the timeline and the date when it's there.
This was the correct version. Thank you. So do you know what I mean? We need to be correct in terms. This is because it is like small change in the words, but it is very big change in the meaning. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, you hear people are crazy about talking and referring to the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki did this. Like everyone thinks that they're walking around and just ruling things from here.
It's not true.
That's the way they talk because so many people were fascinated by Zachariah Sitchin's information that they imagined their connection to it. And some people, I'm sure, are incarnated from that time period, but they feel that they're living, breathing, and moving around at this time.
But do you know what? Let's say, yeah, pretty much Anunnakis, give me a second, existed. Do you know what I mean? But it was in the past. It was in the past. Jesus. Why so many people don't, how can I say, don't understand it on something?
There's so many people that want to embrace the idea that they're here. I don't know if it's like a romantic feeling of thinking that this powerful group or there's an anger because they see them as the ones that altered humanity's DNA. It's a mixed group.
Please, let me fix this, okay? We need to fix terminology. Anunnaki or Anunnakis, my bad, stopped to exist approximately, give me a second, this is very important, approximately 6 million years ago. It is some sort of, do you know what I mean? Some sources are talking about 5.8, and other sources 6.2 millions of years ago. So it is some sort of in between a number. Do you know what I mean? 6 million years ago, and their descendants were or are, my bad, are or offsprings, call it as you like, right?
Their offspring, yes.
Yeah, their offsprings. Good ones are Elohims, and bad ones are Nephilims. Okay. We need to make this clear because so many and that's the problem. Pretty much, pardon me. Pretty much both of it's true, or let's say both of them are right. You know what I mean? It's right. They are. And that's the stuff like 50-50 right, because they are Anunnaki, but they have, how can I say that correctly? It is like they have different, for example, okay, different physical characteristics. For example, being humanoids, do you know what I mean? Like, okay, I've got it. Give me a second. I've got it. Like if we should talk about either African people, like Pygmalians, those people that they are less than 5 feet, so less than 150 centimeters tall, something like that, or maybe 5.
Yeah, that tribe. Yeah,
5'3", so in between 150, 160 centimeters, and there will be another. So this is one branch, and another branch will be very, very, very tall people with pale skin and blonde hair, blonde or red hair, or I don't know, blue, either blue or green eyes, like in Northern Europe, for example, in Scandinavia. Do you know what I mean? And those people, and there will be no other people. I'm just saying, like, those two absolutely opposite poles. Do you know what I mean? If there will be no other people in the world, no, I mean not other types of people in the world. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So not only if somebody is good or bad, but even so this is the first characteristic. And second characteristic, it's like physical. So do you know what I'm trying to say? Humanoid, that means they have head, neck, they have corpse, they have hands and legs, but they are slightly different. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, and what about the bird ones? The ones with the bird heads and
this is
like
another. No. It is just a construct. They are not Anunnakis like as we know about them in ACIO database.
What are they then? They're a hybrid group?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you are right.
What about Marduk? Everyone likes to talk about Marduk.
Can we see that? Marduks?
Yeah.
Because that's the stuff. They, both of them, either Nephilims or Elohims, so bad ones and good ones, or let's say vice versa, Elohims, so good ones, and Nephilims, aka bad ones, they've got human-ish types of body, you know.
Right.
I'm just saying.
So a lot of people like talking about Marduk because some people like him, some people say he's evil. He was a ruler way back in time.
Yeah.
And then you see things like this. These were some of the artwork that they left, right?
Uh-huh.
It's very, very, it talked about, very controversial. Here's like a reptoid that also from Planet X. You see him with wings here. I mean, it's a fascinating topic. And these pine cones, what are these pine cones? And then look at, they have their time travel watches.
But I was talking about it for many years. And about in particular, I mean watches in particular. And just by the way, smart watches, you know.
Smart watches, yeah. Yeah, what is this for? What is this used for?
For making directions.
You mean like a GPS or something, kind of like navigating?
Yeah, because technically, can you see how many those small particles did he have? And do you know what? Every single of these parts, it is pretty much context of existence or timeline or whatsoever. So he is just choosing one.
All of these are like little buttons.
Pretty much, if you want to call them buttons or knobs, or call them as you like. Yeah. Yes.
And then this watch right here.
Yeah.
There's also something that they carry too. It's like a it looks like a purse. Some kind of weird. See if I can find it. This is really helpful, Peter, because I know there's a lot of questioning. Here's an example of it. These right here.
What is very weird for that time, just by the way. Yeah. Because at that time, I mean, look, at that time, who in the world will care Purse. Do you know what I mean?
But it's not a purse. It's something else, isn't it?
Yeah, give me a second. Yeah, but I'm just saying. Do you know what it is actually? It is piece of technology.
Right, that's what I thought. It says for them to travel or to do other things.
Do you know what it is actually? It is external battery.
Huh.
Give me a second. What is the specific word for it? Yeah, I got it. Power bank. Do you know what I mean? Like to make lasting of battery longer, and I'm talking about much longer. Do you know what I mean?
Right, because
External
they
batteries.
needed that.
Sorry, what?
Yeah. They needed that because of the travel that they did.
Yeah. It during even one solid step, pardon me, it drains battery, and I mean drains a lot. Do you know what I mean?
Their wings, are they natural wings or are they something that hooked onto them?
Yeah, it was just hooked, and tried to guess why. It was pretty much for making direction more specific, or let's say more accurate, in order to be more precise during time traveling.
Oh, that's interesting. So not just to fly around when they got to a destination, but they actually incorporated it instead of, how they have to adjust the time. Many time travelers have to.
Exactly, because after certain amounts of time travel steps, or time steps, they were just calling it like that. It was natural that without those wings, they will be not able to be that precise. I mean, exactly in the same time and in the same spot. I mean, let's say in specific location. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Right. And of course the language. So they brought in this language, or was
ancient Sumerian.
right. So that was their language that they introduced.
Pretty much.
What is something like this? Is that a device?
Yeah, it is device. And this, it is pretty much like, okay, bye-bye. I mean, after a certain period of time, material was in German, it is kaputt. That means dead. Do you know what I mean? Material. I mean, what was it made from? Material simply stopped to work. Do you know what I mean?
So right here it shows that it's broken.
Yeah, exactly. In German language, because we in Slovakia, we are using in our slang pretty much, a lot of German words from time once, there were German people, they were mining, gold, silver, and so on, but it was hundreds of centuries ago, and they simply get certain words in our, dialect. So we are using German words. So that pretty much material went dead.
You saying that they were like the predecessors of the Germans?
Do you know what? Why in the world not? It looks pretty much like that, because look, like it or not, but pretty much that is, aka was, main reason of Western world technical enhancement and investment. I mean, after the Second World War, you know what I mean? And especially in US, because you know, they get like all the most brilliant scientists. You know what I mean? And that is pretty much the same story. Story can be made up. So same revelation.
Well, we're looking at things like this. What are these? They look like flowers. They could be suns, but then this shape is slightly different as well. It's on top of two
But
mountains.
do you know which kind of sun we are talking about? But we cannot. I mean, can we talk about that publicly?
Yeah.
So but no, I'm not saying anything. So you can say which kind of sun we are looking at.
I'm not sure where you were headed with that.
No, which kind of color? Do you know what I am talking about? Color of sun.
I
Maybe.
don't know. It's yellow.
No, black sun.
Oh, a black sun. You're talking about the black sun. Oh, so like this is like the black sun?
Exactly.
And so is this the regular sun?
Yeah, that was regular sun, and yeah, this is the black sun. Yeah.
Okay. So here's another example, right? So you have the smaller people, like you said.
As I said, Pygmalians in Africa.
Yeah, pygmies.
Shorter, smaller, or let's say shorter. Yes. Yeah.
And he looks like he's got some kind of like Odin horns, right?
Exactly. Hey, give me a second. I told you. Those are like two poles, like absolutely opposites, because those Pygmalians are short and they are in Africa or from Africa. And he is like like some Viking or something like that. And he's from, I mean, I don't want to say he is from, but we can guess that they are from Scandinavia, do you know? And they are much taller. Do you know what I mean? That's it.
That's a perfect example of what you just said.
But give me a second. I never lied to you.
She looks like she's on some kind of craft, right? With the wings.
Absolutely. And the ancient Sumerian. The writings. The text. Yeah.
Here, is this here again? There's the eagle.
Here is the eagle. Yep.
Of the Nazis. Yep. So, is it possible that the Nazis went way back in time like that?
Give me a second. This is absolutely we should get it from absolutely another point of view, because everything of this, what we are seeing or what we are looking at, my bad, is from another context of existence, huh? When where and when Axis won Second World War, okay? And just by the way, where and when Second World War occurred, but not in 20th centuries and in 1940s, okay? Everything is, or was, my bad, absolutely different, right? Absolutely.
Wow. And is this a device? What is this?
Absolutely, yeah, you are right. It is device.
What does it do? The function?
The function, it is stabilizing. And that's the question. It is stabilizing vantage points. That means they have certain, let's say, energetic fields. Do you know what I mean? How can we call it? Electromagnetic smog, pretty much, if we want to call it that way. And those devices, because there are plenty, they are not dozens, they are not hundreds, thousands, maybe dozens of thousands all around the globe in their context of existence, those similar to that, those devices, and they are keeping this electromagnetic smog low. So they are just soaking this electromagnetic smoke into it. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Wow.
Yeah,
Do
I'm
we,
not kidding you. I'm not
we don't
kidding
have
you.
that do we have that technology now, or does anyone
No,
use it?
no, and that's the problem. Why we are having problem here, or problems. I'm just saying. Yeah, you never heard that. You never.
We talked to someone recently about having what did you call it, the perspective or the point of view, or yes, just recently. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is that
Mhm.
person involved with some of this, or from that reality?
From that reality, but I don't want to get into more details. That will be not good.
Okay.
Nope.
Here's a rocket.
Yeah, yeah, you are right.
There was something else that I just saw.
My question is why those people are that ignorant. Because I want to name them that way, that they are not, or they don't want to get those symbols, because they are here. My bad. They are over the place. I mean, all over the planet. But that's my question. They don't want to talk about them, or they don't want to see them, or what's the problem?
And they don't want to deal with the history and the connection of what we're the history is showing, our connection to the past, or
Yeah.
that it's similar groups.
Yeah. Do you know what? Yes. But that's my question to you, because you are dealing with some sort of, I don't want to say psychology, but being psychic, because I mean, they are smart. Jesus, those people are smart. They are not idiots. I mean, I need to be very straight. They are smart. They what are they afraid of facing the history, or what? Just say me. I'm just kind of confused. What's the
I
problem?
think
What's
that
the deal?
there's a lot of ego and skepticism, or people think that they're smarter because they say that's not true, I've debunked it. So they think they have this illusion of being more intelligent because they discredit everything. I think that they're not honestly assessing things, or they really don't know. And so to say that it's something else is easier. The people that the regular people looking at it saying, hey, that looks familiar.
Yeah.
But those that are authoritative, sometimes they're being honest and saying, yeah, they're acknowledging it, but sometimes they're not, or they don't fully understand or see the connection.
Yeah, I don't wanna say exact name, but I talked with the professor on a very prestigious university in US, United States, and he was very open-minded. But he said that even if UFO, he called it a aircraft or a starship or something like that, will land here in the middle of campus, nobody will get, I mean, from staff, especially associated professors and so on, they will not get there, because get there to check it, because they are simply way too afraid if, or let's say, when they will lose their reputation. And I was like, what in the world are you talking about? I was in shock, to be honest. And he was like, do you know what? I will
Yeah.
be the only one. I will do it.
I think, yeah, they bully and intimidate those that want to come out and tell the truth. And so everybody suffers because they don't want to allow some very simple, basic things about our history. And we know that this is an interference
Yeah.
from probably how we started this conversation, the corporations making everyone not believe while they're taking technology that doesn't belong to them.
Yeah, and just by
So
the
it
way,
gives them the upper edge.
and just by the way, those corporations, they are in very close connection with another, I don't want to say families, but let's say conglomerates. They are in control of mainstream media, and they are saying, hey, no, if you believe in UAP, aka it is newer term for UFO, so maybe we should still use UFO if I'm right. You know what I mean? It's absolutely crazy. Ah,
They're
hello
flying right
guys.
there.
I
Yeah.
like it. Sorry,
I mean, but that's what they're doing. So
yeah.
it brings us back to that topic. Before
But give me a second. Give me a second. Isn't it that way? Yeah. If you believe on UFOs and whatsoever, you are crazy. And even if you encountered something like that, then you made yourself believe it was just a dream or just some sort of not illusion but delusion or something like that, despite you encounter it on your own skin. And absolutely crazy. And of course, I'm working for ACIO for decades, but so many people I met so many people, they faced it like that, and I was like, what? Yeah, that was pressure, like peer pressure. It was peer pressure, and I was like, oh my
well, they did that with scientists and everything, but there's always those that are in the know, and they're taking advantage of dumbing down everyone.
Yeah.
And then here, like I said, even that technology we talked about earlier, this one up here, where that's dealing with the electromagnetic field, and everyone's trying to, have a good night's sleep, and they can't with all this, activity.
Yeah, and this is it. If you will have something like that, you are the winner, because 5G is absolute crap. If you have some sort of transmitter of that 5G, what is it? 5G cell phone network. It's absolute. Yeah, it's miserable. It is making your life, and especially during the night, I mean sleeping, and this is it, not why you are sleeping, but why you should sleep, right? It is making your life miserable, because 95% of people cannot sleep. And even if they, or let's say despite they can fall asleep, their not only brain but their bodies cannot fully regenerate, just because of this stupid crap. And I will not watch my language, because why in the world should we have faster internet or something like that once we don't need it? Do you know what I mean?
Right. I know. And well, it's not for that. They are, and they're trying to harness humanity through all of this.
I know. Give me a second. I know, but I'm just saying, because, for example, if I compare 4G with versus 5G, the difference in between speed, it's for regular user, it absolutely you can't see it, or let's say you can't feel it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? No. It is just for online gamers, because this ping and jitter or something like that, I am not good at those parameters. it is better for online gamers, right? But for regular users, absolutely not. Sorry for that. I'm just,
Yeah, I know it's
I
bad.
just got upset, to be honest. Sorry for that.
I was looking at some browsing around. I saw this. You've seen this before.
Oh yeah.
From yeah, who is this? Do you know? Does the ACIO have a history on this? This giant?
Nope. To be honest.
But you've seen it before.
Give me a second. Yeah, but we should get more in depth if we want to call it that way.
If you want to talk about that, we can't talk about it right now. That's what you're saying.
Give me a second. Yes, we know certain things, but it is still ongoing mission. Do you know what I mean? So that's the reason why I'm saying, let's say I don't know nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, but you do, but you can't talk about it.
Yeah.
What is this ring right here? Is he going through a portal, or is that what they're showing?
Yes, pretty much is a portal. I mean, from there.
And it looks like a clock above him, right?
Yeah, it is. It's clock. Exactly.
What's he holding?
What do you think? Huh?
Branch. It looks like a device of some sort, right? There's almost looks like a slingshot or 3 branches, and then it has these 3 things on top of each one.
Exactly. Yeah, you were right.
Is that for navigation or
exactly? Give me a second. Navigation in 3D system. Third array density.
Oh, okay. So there's different types of tools for different density.
Densities. Give me a second. Densities. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
There was another device too that I was going to ask you about that they're holding. This one right here. This right here.
Okay, try to guess. What is that? Try to guess. Nah, it's not that kind of complicated. No, it's not that kind of complicated.
I mean, it feels like there's a frequency to it.
Exactly, that's it. It is. They are. My bad. They were calling it a spatializer, or let's say a finer spatializer that finer. It's like fine tuning, especially in shortwave radios, shortwave amateurs who definitely can say what it is.
Is this a mic right here? Is that like a mic?
Give me a second, please. Fine tuning for shortwave. And this is like, I don't want to say mic because it is both. It's microphone and camera and something like that. And finer, this kind of, or spatializer, this ring, if we want to call it that way, it is mapping from 360 degrees the surroundings. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's it. Yeah. You are way too smart for this show. Sorry.
I remember some of it, Peter. I remember some of it. Look at that.
No. Yep.
That's clearly, the Nazi symbology right there. Yeah, I remember from being there. I have little glimpses of it in recall. But it was a very strange time, compared to here. It's very, very different. The way that their laws were and the way that people operated.
What do you mean operated?
It was more like frontier, like they were just creating rules along the ways when they needed it. It wasn't they had their own personal rules, but they're also incorporated and coming into different places.
Okay,
This looks like the hat of Mars right
and
here.
you are right, just by the way. Yeah,
so that's
you are
Mars
right.
talking to probably Marduk.
Exactly. Give me a second. I don't know if Marduk in particular, they can talk about to pretty much anyone, if you want to call it that way, anyone.
Yeah, well, those that he would be over the planet of Mars, and then Marduk had his planet, but I think it got blown up or made it look like.
That's it. How it is or what it is exactly.
They look like they're having some kind of agreement, but I think they had a showdown at one point. Yeah.
Agreement. Oh my God. Way too strong words for them.
I know.
Way too strong words for them.
I wanted to point out that this is in the shape of an eye, and we were talking about an eye earlier. So I don't know if that is helping.
Yeah.
But
you know what? Oh my God.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, give me a second. I'm just saying that. Agreement. Oh my God, for them. Nah.
Yeah, these two. I think that's why we have an asteroid belt right now. That's how their agreement went.
Yeah, you are right.
Yeah, you get these strong characters of the past, and there's a conflict. Yeah, but Mars is known to wear a helmet like that, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, you are right.
Yeah. Interesting, because this has been going on for so long. People think all of our ideas and ingenuity is new. You can see it closer up.
Give me a second. Can they be that naive? Jeez, no.
Yeah, they think we're so smart right now that.
Give me a second. It is not for thousands. It is ongoing like for dozens of thousands of years. Jeez.
Yeah.
Definitely not for just last few centuries. Oh my God. But yeah, that's the problem, you know. We are way too proud.
Right.
It always ends up bad if you are way too proud. I mean, not you in particular, but you know what I mean, the civilization.
Yeah. Civilization, yeah, that's when they get screwed over. They think they know everything.
Exactly.
Right here, there's just 2 watches. He's got 2 of them now.
Give me a second. It speaks for everything.
And a feather?
Yeah.
Or
do you know why?
One of these?
Yeah, give me a second.
But it looks
different.
Yeah,
but that's the reason. 2 watches, so it is need for feather. Because 2 watches, you know what I mean?
Oh, so then navigation. So as he's traveling, he needs
navigation should be even more precise because of 2 watches. Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, hey, it makes sense. Why it is so complicated to understand? Oh my God.
So when they had these pictures carved a long time ago, these instruction guides, was this information that they were leaving people say, hey, you know, if you're going to be wearing the 2 watchers, they made sure that everyone could see them.
But give me a second. Isn't this that kind of obvious and nobody was people was overseeing it for how many thousands of years? And now we are so happy because we've got smartphones, smart watches. Oh my God, it's so silly. Oh my.
Yeah.
But isn't it silly? Isn't it silly? Oh my.
Yep.
It is pretty much like electric cars or something like that for 150 or 100, I don't know, many years. It is silly. It is frustrating. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And a lot of this is whether it's symbology or it's a story, they're telling a story or history or something.
Yeah, but look, nobody will I don't want to say nobody will see at that because nobody wants to understand it. It's like, nah, I don't want to see it. And I will say why. Because this symbology is way too complicated to understand.
Yeah. I mean, there's people that have been studying it for years.
But give me a second. Give me a second. You are right on one hand, but on the other hand, nobody is getting it.
What's your interpretation of this image right here?
You know, it is pretty much, how can I call it? The first from the top and the last on the bottom. You know what I mean?
Like hierarchy?
Pretty much. But I don't know if we can, how we can call it precisely, dogmas? Like religious dogmas, religion dogmas, political dogmas, or ideology. Do you know what I mean? One it's liberal and another one is conservative. One is very strong believer, absolutely independent, which kind of religion we are talking about, whatsoever. Another one it's like, nah, I'm atheist whatsoever. One it's conservative, another ones it's like, you know what I mean, progressive, that means liberals or something like that. And you can see every single stuff here, every single, let's call it, aspect of your life or points of view at the life, you know what I mean, you can see it here at those, how we can call them, levels of this picture. You can see it. It's not that kind of complicated to understand.
So it's focused on that this is the moon. So it's related to a moon hierarchy.
But give me a second. Can you see?
Black suns or?
Yeah, black sun and white sun. But give me a second. Can you see him? The snake.
Snake. Who is the snake?
The snake. It is sinner. It's sinner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Snake, Eve, Adam, the basic story of the Bible or in the Bible. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not that easy. And my bad.
Well, you have like, it's the top part is 3 houses. What are the 3 houses?
3 houses. 3 basic, 3 basic religions. Judaism, Christianity, and Islamism, you know. Is it that complicated? I think from my point of view.
Well, you have a king down here, and there looks like there's a hybrid made.
This is the question, because king, it's easy, it's way too obvious, but what is that? I mean, I want to ask you. Oh my God, what is that?
It looks like a satyr or something like that.
Yeah. I was like, is it like that, like satyr or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is what the 2 heads. These look like gates of some sort, and
give me a second. Those are gates. Give me a second, please. Those are gates. That means decisions.
I see.
Decisions in your life. That pretty much everything within your life is just depending on you and your decision. My bad. Decisions, because there are not plenty of them. Dozens, hundreds, thousands of the decisions. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And what is that in the very bottom? Oh my God.
So weird. That's really weird. It reminds me of Geronimus Bosch stuff,
Do you know what? Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah.
like the
And
underworld, maybe.
yeah. And do you know what? What do you? Just by the way, what do you think about Bosch? About those paintings?
I went to the museum.
Okay.
I went to the museum in the Netherlands.
Okay.
I mean, it's impressive artwork, but what an, like incredible imagination. And when I say he probably had a vision of it, and then his ability to convey it in art, it's so bizarre to look at.
So you mean that he had some sort of insight, but insight is stuff like a vision or so?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure he had a vision. He knew exactly.
Because and that was it, like, oh my God. That was for good, like for first. And I was like, oh my God. Once I saw it first time, I was like, what in the world is that? Exactly, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you are
The
right.
only one we didn't look at is right here, but they also look that way. But this one is like a bird on top of a pedestal. It's almost like I don't know, like a judgment or like this thing is the Two-Face, or could also be that dog, right? The
My second
multi-headed
way.
dog.
Ah, yeah, that's a dog. Yeah. There's
And then they
definitely
have
a
there's
dog.
a horse in here.
Yeah,
This
that's
looks
true.
like a bird, or I don't know. It's weird looking. I don't know, there's some kind of creatures that lived at that time, or is it what's your interpretation of row 4?
From my point of view, it's definitely, or they are, they were, is some sort of in at that time living creatures or what? Yeah.
Like the animal world, or
And that's my question. I don't know. I really don't know. No, I don't know.
yeah. I mean that feels like the underworld. That feels like, like you said, there's leadership and
And that's my
there's control,
question.
but there's maybe
What do you
war, or this one's a weird one. Yeah.
And that's my question. What do you think is underworld? I mean, it is really the hell? That's my question.
I think that so if I look into the because I've seen many different places, right? So if I look into the astral, so say if I browse into 4D, or the astral, that's kind of like close to our space, and there's multiple things in and out, right? There's just a variety of things. But if I work with someone that, say, is having a really hard time and they're close to death or whatever, you can peer into the underworld, and they're pretty, they have a certain type of voice. They have a certain type of authority because that's their space. And sometimes they're hybrid looking creatures like that, kind of like what Bosch saw.
Yeah, that is wild. Yeah, that is
Yeah, but
wild.
they don't look like aliens. They don't. They look different.
And my question is, what do you think about those? They are also called demons because many people believe that they are from that, you know what I mean, Mesopotamia, whatsoever, now it is Iraq, and so on and so on. Are they from that time of period of time, and then maybe, spot of the world, part of the world? And are
Yeah,
they
there's
really that evil?
there's these minotaurs that can be really evil. Yeah, they can be really mean, nasty.
Uh-huh, okay.
And they can trap you into like their labyrinths, or
I know what do you mean, this labyrinth whatsoever. I know.
Yeah,
This
they're
kind of
like
problem.
half bull. It's like a bull energy, which I think this is where they got the devil symbology, because
Oh,
sometimes they look like bulls.
okay.
Yeah, but they're
Okay.
definitely a species that probably was miserable because they were part human and then part beast or part animal. And it's like the Isle of Dr. Moreau. There's this extreme anger because they're feral, they're wild animals, but yet they have a human thinking, and it makes a very odd combination and a very intimidating combination
Do you mean
because
intimidating?
they're wild animals inside too. They're
No?
intelligent, very, very intelligent wild animals, and with very feral desires. So there's like aggression and force, control. They're the way that they would structure their world, like say animals have their own rules that we kind of watch it and observe it, but we don't interfere with it unless they come into our living space. But if you go out into the jungle or if you go into the forest, there are their own rules there.
Oh
And
yeah,
so,
yeah. You are right. You are right. And there is a hierarchy and so on. It's complicated. Yeah, you are right. You
yeah,
are
for
right.
each species, they have their own kind of set of rules. So when you create a hybrid, you're magnifying their innate, because it's innate. It's not something that they're taught through,
Through the nature and so
behavior.
on.
Yeah, they kind of already know this hierarchy and they know how things should be. And so, like, say, part of their behavior, like an animal, say a gorilla, you're not supposed to look them in the eye. You look them in the eye, that means that there's going to be a physical interaction
Because it
or
is like, do
aggression.
you know what? Do you know what? You want to fight. Okay. And let's fight. Yeah, I understand. I understand that.
So that's why hybrids.
I'm kynologist, and I am dealing with very, very hard to train dogs. And believe me, that I hella good know what you are talking about. Oh my god. Yeah.
And you could cross the line and not even realize it.
Yes.
Imagine like even with a cat, we have these tiny little house cats, right? But if they get irritated
Oh
and you
my god.
just do something more than once to them that they don't like, they will lash out. Now imagine they're a humanoid,
And do you know what? Do you
right?
know what? Do you know what? They will get that wild. I was like, what in the world? It is just a little cat. Oh no, they are not. You are right. Oh my.
They can do
Yeah.
some damage, even the little cats. Imagine, and we know what the big cats can do. And they have their rules and they have their boundaries, and so you mix that with intelligence of human intelligence.
Yeah.
What a crazy mess. I can't imagine what it was like in Atlantis, and I can't imagine what it was, what they're trying to do right now, kind of create these hybrids. And you've already dealt with hybrids.
Oh my.
You know how they are.
Oh my god. That's my question. Why in the world somebody can be that stupid? And I will not watch my language. So why in the world somebody can be that stupid and even is considering to create that kind of hybrids? Because it is very dangerous. It's goddamn dangerous. It can get out of control just like that, and you are screwed. You are goddamn screwed.
You got to fight whether you like it or not. You're in a fight at that point.
Exactly at that point, and it is you are your life it is risk. I mean, even I think those people, they don't fully understand which kind of danger they can create, because it is really danger, like absolute danger. Oh my god. Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us to this question right here then.
Okay.
There's one species, it turned into another species.
Yep.
Did
And
it happen
look,
like
give me a
that? Or
second, give me a second. Please, give me a second. Look at the very far, at the creature on very, very, very far right. It can be minor. It can be minor.
yeah.
But in the same helmet, in certain part of history, we know, certain period, my bad, it can be also a soldier. Look, the
Yes.
helmet, the type of helmet.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just saying, do you know what I mean?
Oh, look, he's got the little device here. I mean, someone made this. We know that's not
Give me
from
a second. I know it is just artificial picture, but it is very good example, and at least from my point of view. Do you know what I mean?
So are you saying that we actually came from these? Because I have a problem. I thought we were more like star seeds, but
Give me a second. No. I am not saying that this is correct picture, but I'm saying that, yeah, starseed is it's true.
we
Or let's
came in
say,
more looking humanoid rather than an evolution in this.
yeah, you are right. But still, it is, man, oh
But they
man.
have done this. They have done stuff like this, right? Enhancements.
Oh my God, definitely. That's for
And
sure.
now, did they do it for nefarious reasons, or do you think they did it to help an evolution or growth of that
Give me a
species?
second. What do you mean? What do you, or what can you consider as quote unquote help evolution? That's my question.
I don't know.
And that's the problem, because look, you have one intention, aka you can have the greatest intention as you can, as you want, and you know something can twist terribly wrong, as I said, just like that, and you are in deep problems, in huge problems, you know.
Right.
It is
So that's where,
pretty much like, you know, it can be, they just want to make routine test without no quote unquote juice, aka no cooling mechanism systems in work or at work, and bam, you got Chernobyl, you know, because they stopped everything, because they need, it was, do you know what I mean, the test, how test should work. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
yeah,
And it ended
they
up
can't
how it
control it. Yeah,
yeah,
because it is a test. It's an experiment. You're
yeah,
right.
it was pretty much experiment.
I
Yeah.
think some of the ones that they experimented on, they had to destroy. That was like the flood and all that, right?
Oh yeah, great flood. Yeah, you are right. Yeah, you are right.
Because some of them were parts of
From my,
experimentation that went bad.
sorry, go ahead.
It was from experimentations that went bad.
Yeah, from my point of view, it was some sort of, let's call it great reset. You know what I mean?
But, yeah, like they're trying to do that again. I know that.
And now they are trying, look, what is it? What it is, what it was like, pandemic, you know, like it or not. And it only started with all those flus. Do you know what I mean? Like Spanish flu. Do you know what I mean? Asian flu, Vietnam, or what it was? Which kind of flu? Not Hong Kong, my bad. Not Vietnam, my bad. Hong Kong flu, and so on and so on. You know. Or
well, this is a part of it, right? These earthquakes that we started to talk about.
yes. Just by the way, I cannot get any more. I mean, I think that we should call this part 1, and second part we should talk about Morocco earthquake.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna come back and we're gonna do it again. I think this was very helpful information, Peter.
Yeah.
I know we went off on a tangent, but I think it's important that we did, because to have better clarity, I think it's all connected. This whole process of another reset, the whole process of why our world is heading in the direction it is right now, and what are the different things that are happening, the experimentations and so forth, and also the elite group.
Can I interrupt you, please?
Sure.
In this direction, what is bad direction, just by the way?
There's, yes. Yeah,
sorry for that, but I'm just saying.
But you started off by saying that's the corporations that are taking the vehicles, that they're already operating and doing things that doesn't belong to them, and then they don't want us to believe. And because if we don't believe that this is happening, then nothing can be corrected about it, right?
Of course, that's true. Let's say it's way too easy. It's way too obvious. If it is all the time said in the mainstream media, hey, if you believe in UFO, aka UAP, and so on, you are crazy, nobody will talk with you, and all kind of that stuff. As I said, people will stop to talk about that, and not only, they will start to convince themselves, even if they encounter that it was just a delusion,
Yeah, that's very good, Peter.
Okay, so thank you for giving me another opportunity to be on your channel, Jessica. Thank you for patience to all of our regular and maybe not so regular listeners. And I am looking forward for next time to be here in part 2. So till then, hold tight and bye-bye.
Okay, and thank you everyone for being here. We appreciate your joining us, leaving comments, and even providing ideas of things that you wanted to look into and had questions about. Thank you for your financial and for your moral support. We appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe. We have more to come. Have a good day.
You have been watching Disclosures. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Visit www.acio-official.org and www.readingsbyarael.com to book a private session with Jessica. Feel free to support our work. All links can be found in the description. Thank you, and until next time.